The silence was unbearable. The truth they shared about you felt like a betrayal, but I couldn't turn away. I thought we were solid, but what they said about you, it tore apart everything I believed. It felt like my whole world came crashing down with a single conversation. What they said about you, I never imagined. They spoke, and everything I thought I knew about you fell apart. The truth, it hurt more than I can explain. What do you do when the people you trust expose a truth you never expected? That's what happened when they talked about you. I didn't know what to feel. Confused, angry, heartbroken. What they said about you left me in a whirlwind of emotions. The truth was more painful than I could have imagined. The way they talked about you changed everything. I never thought a conversation like that could make me question everything I knew. But what they revealed about you left me speechless. They were trying to protect me, I know, but the words they spoke about you felt like a betrayal. I wasn't prepared for the shock. What my family said about you shattered everything I thought was real. The pain of hearing the truth is real, and what they said about you, it still stings. I wanted to run from what they were saying, but deep down, I knew I had to listen. What they revealed about you, I'll never forget. I never thought their words would hit me like this. What they said about you, it completely changed everything I thought I knew. They tried to protect me, but all I could feel was betrayal. What they said about you left me questioning everything. In that moment, my world flipped upside down. What they revealed about you shattered the foundation of everything I believed. I didn't know how to react. The truth was more than I could handle. What they shared about you, it left me paralyzed. What happens when the truth is too painful to bear? The conversation that changed everything made me question everything about you. The words lingered in the air, too heavy to ignore. What they said about you left me with more questions than answers. How do you come back from a truth like that? What my family said about you made me wonder if anything between us was real. The more they spoke, the deeper the hole in my heart grew. What they revealed about you left me feeling empty and confused. I felt like my world was collapsing around me, piece by piece. The truth they shared about you turned everything upside down. The weight of their words crushed me. What they said about you, I never saw it coming, and I couldn't escape it. The truth hit me like a freight train, and there was no way to avoid it. What they revealed about you, I'm still processing it. It was like my entire perspective on you shattered in an instant. The truth they shared, I'll never forget it. I was left speechless, my heart racing. What they told me about you felt like a betrayal I couldn't undo. How do you keep going when everything you thought was real is suddenly a lie? That's how I felt after their conversation about you. My mind was spinning, trying to catch up with what I had just heard. What they said about you still haunts me. They warned me about the truth, but nothing prepared me for how much it would hurt. What they shared about you tore me apart. I wanted to believe it wasn't true, but the more they talked, the more it became impossible to ignore what they said about you. I didn't know how to handle it. The truth felt like a slap in the face, and I couldn't understand why they told me about you. What happens when your own family exposes something so painful you can't even process it? That's what it felt like when they talked about you. I never thought their words would cut so deeply. What they said about you changed how I see everything. I was left alone in my thoughts, struggling to come to terms with what they had just revealed. What they said about you, I couldn't shake it. It's hard to imagine the depth of shock I felt. What they told me about you turned everything I thought I knew on its head. The truth was like a storm, tearing through my heart and mind. What they said about you will never leave me. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. What they revealed about you made me question everything I had believed in. My head was spinning with disbelief. The truth they shared about you felt like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I couldn't understand how this could be real. What they said about you hit me harder than anything I'd ever heard before. It felt like my heart had been ripped out. The truth they shared about you, I never imagined it could be so painful. The silence that followed their words was deafening. What they revealed about you still echoes in my mind. I felt lost, like I didn't know who you were anymore. What my family said about you shattered my world. They told me we need to talk. Little did I know what was coming would change everything I thought I knew about you and me. Have you ever had the ground pulled out from under you? That's exactly what happened when my family sat me down to talk about you. In that moment, I couldn't breathe. The words were just too much. What they said about you, it hit me like a storm. They say that family always knows best. But what if the truth they revealed about you left me questioning everything? I wasn't prepared for the truth. What my family said about you, it shook me to my core. I never saw it coming. What if everything I believed about you was a lie? The conversation that unfolded left me paralyzed with doubt. You think you know someone, right? But what my family just revealed about you made me rethink everything. I felt the cold sweat on my skin as the truth came pouring out. What my family had to say about you, I never imagined. You never expect to hear something that changes everything in an instant, but that's exactly what happened when they talked about you. The words they spoke, each one a dagger to my heart. I thought I knew you, but now I'm not so sure. The room was silent. My heart raced. I had no idea that this conversation would unravel everything I thought I knew about us. What do you do when the people closest to you turn your world upside and with one simple conversation? That's what happened when they spoke about you. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The more they talked, the more my heart shattered. Could this really be true? Everything I thought I understood about you suddenly felt like a lie. How could this happen? What were they trying to tell me? What if my family knows more about you than I ever realized? The truth they revealed to me still haunts me. I never thought I'd be sitting here, questioning everything. But what they said about you left me speechless. I felt a chill run through me when they spoke your name. What they said about you shattered my reality. In that moment, I couldn't believe my ears. The truth about you had been hidden right in front of me, and now I had no choice but to face it. The weight of their words lingered in the air, heavy with truth. What they shared about you completely blindsided me. I didn't know what was worse, their words or the silence that followed. Everything they said made me feel so lost. The truth can be a bitter pill to swallow, and what my family said about you was harder to digest than I ever imagined. My family saw something I didn't. They pulled me aside and opened my eyes to a side of you I never knew existed. What happens when your family opens your eyes to a painful truth? My heart hasn't been the same since. How do you even begin to process the truth when it feels like everything you believed and was just shattered by a few words? They said it was for my own good, but the words that came next left me wondering if I'd ever truly known you. I could barely hear them through the pounding in my ears. What they said about you, it didn't feel real at all. When they pulled me aside, I thought I was ready for anything, but nothing could prepare me for what they said about you. Why do families have to be so brutally honest? What they told me about you made my heart skip a beat. It's hard to hear the truth, especially when it's about someone you care about. But what they revealed about you, it broke me. They say family always has your best interests at heart. But what if the truth they shared about you was more than I could handle? The words they said cut deeper than I ever expected. I thought I understood everything about you, but now I'm not so sure. Everything about you was suddenly up for debate. The conversation felt like a nightmare, but it was my reality. How do you process shock when the people who love you most are the ones who drop the bombshell. What they said about you was impossible to ignore. I thought I was prepared for anything, but what they said about you, it still leaves me speechless. They say the truth hurts, but sometimes it's the only thing that can set you free. What my family revealed about you left me feeling trapped. I couldn't escape the weight of their words. What they said about you changed everything for me. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to believe it wasn't true. But their words about you hit me like a cold, hard slap. The truth wasn't just something they told me, it was something I had to feel. What they shared about you changed how I see everything. My heart raced. My mind couldn't keep up. The truth they shared about you, I wasn't ready for it. Every moment felt like an eternity as they talked about you. And when they finally stopped, nothing was the same. What happens when the people who love you most break your heart with one simple truth about the one you love?